Well, it's a kind of exciting time in Binsgarth this week. This is our second Summer Arts Adventure Camp. So we have 55 children, ranging in age from 4.5 to 16. And they're here to sing and dance and act and perform for their parents and show them what wonderful kids they really are. Well, we decided last year that we had a lot of kids that were really interested in theatre, and we thought we would give them an opportunity to come for a very intense week and let them see what it takes to put together a performance in a very short period of time. And last year was very successful, and so we decided we would do it again. So we did. This has been in the planning stages actually since the camp last year, and we spent the winter putting together the curriculum that we wanted to cover and finding instructors, and in about April all the letters went out to the kids who had been in camp last year and to our email distribution list and that sort of thing to let them know what was happening, and then the registration started to come and here we are.
So who do you expect to come to this kind of a camp?
I would say any child that has an interest in music or dancing or drama, or any parent who thinks that their child may be interested in those kind of things. It's a wonderful confidence builder, I think, by the end of the week when they get to stand up in front of an audience and hopefully get a standing ovation. That feels pretty good. So it's a good confidence builder for kids, for anybody. The production this afternoon is sort of a two-part process, and we wanted to do one major dance number with all of the kids, so we're using the Bugs Bunny theme, and then we wanted to have one choral number with the juniors and the primaries and one with the seniors and the intermediates, and we chose I Love to Laugh from Mary Poppins. Our drama instructor put together a bit of a vaudeville show with jokes that the kids have been working on to entertain with, and then Karen, the vocal instructor, brought Dr. Jazz with her. It's one that she's used in her classrooms, and it's been very popular with the kids, and it was certainly very popular with these kids as well. And then You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story. And so that's sort of the first half of the show. And then the second half is a mini musical called Free to Be, and it's really about all the different occupations that someone might decide to pursue when they grow up, and that really you can be anything you want to be as long as you do your very best to do it. And this particular musical is just one of many that's written by a certain person that does this kind of thing for schools. It's a school musical. So that's sort of how it all came together. And when we looked at it, we weren't sure whether we were trying to do too much or not, but as it turned out, we got through it all in a week, so that's a good thing.
Your instructors, they're not just our locals. You've brought them in.
Yes, Karen is from Oak Lake, I believe, and Lois is from Cardale, and Ted is from Winnipeg. So we've had people coming to town for that, and that's deliberate. These kids, a lot of these kids, because they're involved in Vagabond, see us all year long, and so we thought it would be a good opportunity for them to receive instruction for someone other than the people that are working with them on a regular basis.
Your students, where are they all from?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny. The first day, one of the instructors said, "How many of you are from Binsgarth?" And a few put up their hand. And how many are from Foxmoor? And one or two put up their hand. And finally she said, "Well, how many of you are even from Manitoba?" We have one family from Fort McMurray, Alberta. We have several families from Esterhazy and Langenburg and Gerald and Welwyn and Rocanville. We have in Manitoba from Winnipeg all the way to Inglis, I guess, would be the furthest north we go, but all over. So kids have made new friends this week.
That's part of it too. And how do they get to know about it?
Well, this year actually we didn't. We just sent the information out through our normal distribution channel. It's posted on our website as well. We had all of our material ready by the time we had the Wizard of Oz in the spring, so we had information at the theater here when people came to the show. And several of the kids who are here for camp were ones that had been to the Wizard of Oz and decided that was something they wanted to do as well.
So are you having kids that are coming back after they've been in one of your productions, or are these kids that are wanting to get into a production?
Both. Both, yeah. And some kids that may never be in a Vagabond production because they live too far away, but just want to be part of what we're doing here. So
Normally, what happens during a week? Like, okay, you've got them only for like 5 days, but what kind of hours have you got the kids?
we start at 9:15 every morning. We go through to 4:30 at night. They have a 15-minute break morning and afternoon, 45 minutes for lunch. And it's just like school in that respect. They're moving every 45 minutes from class to class. Combination, moving from dance to drama to music. And that the last hour of the day we spend rehearsing the final show. And so as the week progressed, the show started to fall into place. And yesterday when we ran it through, it took us 6 hours. So the fact that we got it down to an hour today is a really good thing.
Is it very expensive for a family to bring their children here?
I guess it depends on what people call expensive. It costs $155 for the week plus meals if they want to do that. In terms of an hourly rate, it works out to about $4 an hour for their instruction, which is in line with a dance lesson or a music lesson, actually probably a little bit cheaper than that. So in that way, when you say the big number, yeah, it sounds like a lot, but when you break it down on an hourly basis per instructor, or by instructor, it's not all that much, really.
But they also get something else out of it.
Oh yes, we always do a T-shirt with our productions, and when the kids hit the stage this afternoon, everybody will be dressed in the same blue T-shirt, and it just sort of makes a nice visual impact, and it's a good souvenir for the kids to take home. Several of the kids throughout this week who had attended the camp last year were here with their orange T-shirts or their Wizard of Oz T-shirts or whatever throughout the week, so they're a good keepsake.
And one thing about that, you don't have to worry about all the costume changes.
That's true. The costumes this year are hats and spoons and boas. That's about it.
What do you feel has been sort of the biggest challenge for you?
I guess it's difficult when we have a lot of children in one space, and when they're doing what they're supposed to do, it's noisy. And so our biggest challenge in this particular week has been for every class to be able to focus on their own instructor, because they can hear the instructor in the next room as well. So that's one of the things probably for another year we're going to have to look at, maybe doing the drama at the drop-in center or something like that, just to give everybody a little bit of breathing space.
Highlight of the week.
Highlight of the week. When those kids hit the stage this afternoon, they have worked so incredibly hard. And there was days, I bet you, when they went home that they didn't want to get up and come the next morning because they have really worked hard. But when they hit the stage this afternoon, I think we're all going to be bursting with pride at how much they've accomplished in such a short period of time. And then, there's usually a few hugs at the end of the day, so that's kind of nice too. Always seem to end my interviews with you on the same note. Thank you to everybody behind the scenes. We've got the ladies in the kitchen, and Phyllis McGranagan has been here all week playing piano for rehearsals, and I don't know how she has the wisdom or the grace to keep saying yes to us when we ask her to do things. But for her, it's a labor of love as well. And our instructors have been fabulous. It's been a pleasure to work with them this past week. And the kids are great, and it's been fun.
You know, what we noticed is there's not really a specific star or a lead role, which is kind of nice.
And that's the kind of thing that's deliberate in something like this. We want everyone to be a star, not an individual person. And so in this little musical, there's something like 30 small speaking parts, and so those are spread out amongst a large number of children. There's a few vocal solos that are also spread out as much as possible so that everybody gets a chance to have their little moment in the sun.
Very good. Now let's add some sound to that. Ooh, ee, ooh, ee, ooh, ee, ooh, ee. Good. Now let's add words to that. Will you, will you?
Will you, will you, will you?
Well, I'm part of a company in Winnipeg called Fogies Productions, and we produce plays and do various other things involved in theater and related arts. And a colleague of mine, Frank Adamson, and myself were invited out to be part of the drama camp, the drama music theater camp. So for the past few days, since Monday, I guess it was. Actually wasn't here on Monday. I was a day late. We've been working with the kids to build to this momentous moment when they present a live performance to an audience of adoring fans this afternoon, approximately an hour and a half from now. So that's what I'm doing here to help in that process, to teach them some basic drama skills along the way, and hopefully contribute to a terrific learning experience.
So you've only got a week. How do you do it? What do you do?
Well, basically, you have to try to determine what skill level the kids already have. Fortunately, virtually all the kids who are here want to be here. And that's a huge, huge factor. It's not like forcing somebody to do it, or that would be like pulling teeth. After you've ascertained the skill level, then you then try to work with the kids where they're at and then determine how far you can take them in that short period of time. The agenda that I had for each class changed considerably, not only because I wasn't familiar with the kids and after finding out where they were at, that made a difference. But also because I was asked, I believe it was on Wednesday, if there was anything that I could do to contribute to the actual show, like in terms of material. Fortunately, I did have some material, some corny jokes that we were able to put together, sort of like an old vaudeville show. And it's worked out very well. It's added something to a real dimension to the show because it's basically a musical. So there's this segment now that wouldn't have been there before had I not brought the jokes with me, which gives the audience a breather from the music. It's a chance to have some laughs, and it's really a lot of fun to see the kids up there. It's an interesting teaching tool too, because in 4 days, 5 days, trying to get across to a child the idea of the responsibility, all the technical things involved in performing a play. It's very hard, but it's actually, if you think about it, it's encapsulated within a joke. A joke tells a story. A joke has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And all of that is microscopic, but it illustrates the point. So it's something that is realistic for the kids to achieve in the short period of time. And when you are teaching things like, as I was doing, like basic principles of good speech, like articulation, diction, breathing, that sort of thing. It's an immediate application for those things, which helps the kids remember them. They can understand that if they're not speaking clearly, they're not going to be understood. So the sense of achievement when they do that is something that is going to stick with them. And then, of course, they can apply that in a broader context when they actually do a play, either at school or at a community level or whatever. You don't want any movement here, just in the face muscles, just in the lips.
You only had a week to do this, but bottom line, wasn't it to build up their confidence in themselves?
Oh, it's definitely going to be a confidence builder. One can only guess what this is going to do for the kids. I think it's going to be long-term. As I said before, the kids who are here want to be here. So they're ready to absorb, and they're ready to learn, and ready to take away the ideas that you've taught them. And really, there is no accurate way to ascertain how a child is going to take what you've given them. Some will come up to you 10 years from now and say, "Do you remember me? I was at your drama camp." And you go, "Oh, well, you've changed since then." But you just never know. It might have been a kind word. You don't know what the kids are going through when they come here. Maybe they've got a stressful home life. Maybe this is the highlight of their year. You just don't know. You have a terrific responsibility teaching at something like this, and you just try to be sensitive to each child along the way and hope that it will be a positive, affirming experience for them.
So do you do this often?
Reasonably often. I'm a performer and a writer. Most performers do teach on the side. And the value of teaching for a performer is that it puts you in a situation where you have to articulate what you yourself practice. And of course, being a performer, it's not just theory. It is something that you yourself apply so that you know what works and what doesn't work. So it's a richer sort of experience that you can bring to the table when you're working with the kids. So I don't teach full-time. I teach occasionally, and in some ways I prefer that because it's more fun. It never becomes routine. It's always a new experience.
So this week at Ben Scarth, how would you rate it? What would you say about it?
Well, I've had the advantage of having been here on 2 previous occasions, not for this, but to adjudicate their Speech Arts Festival, as recently as last November, in fact. And I can honestly say this is one of the better areas for theater arts involvement. There are some terrific adults who encourage the kids and who have significant knowledge and teaching ability to impart to the kids. And so all of the kids who are here, they bring a credible element of expertise to the process. They have an enthusiasm, they have an appreciation because they see the adults working. A lot of communities make the mistake of pigeonholing things like drama, like the speech arts, and saying, well, it's good for the kids, but you grow out of it eventually. Well, not necessarily. The best way to teach is by example. So if there are adults in the community who are involved, as they are in the community theater here, then the kids grow up and they see that and they want to be part of it. So that gives this type of drama camp much more significance for the child. They have a long-term goal, in other words. So, and plus it is a life-affirming experience for them. If they can get up on a stage and speak loudly and clearly in front of people, it's a confidence builder. How is that going to affect them when a few years from now they apply for their first job? It's going to make a difference. So,
What would you say was your highlight this week?
highlight of the week? I suppose there have been a few. Actually, it was something really cute happened yesterday. We were doing a run-through of the play, and a number of the primary kids who I did not interact with as much as the other levels, they were gathering around my feet and they were hanging on to me, and it was also affectionate and wonderful and trusting and loving, and it's a reminder of the type of bonding that occurs in an experience like this because it's so intense, because there's a specific goal at the end of the week. If there wasn't a performance today, I don't think people would pull together the same way. But because they have that common goal in sight, everybody knows they have to work together. So I think that's the highlight of the week, is the way people bond. And as I say, you don't necessarily notice or appreciate the fruits of that right away. It could happen years from now when people come up to you. I've had that happen, and it's a wonderful, warm feeling that stays with you. I think the organizers do an amazing job. Everything, including the breaks, the meals, everything is organized, and people want to be here. You never see people frowning, at least not for long. I'm sure there are frustrations along the way, but it's extremely well organized. There are dedicated people here who deserve, on a consistent basis, to be commended for their hard work, because something like this doesn't happen in a week. The actual camp may be 5 days, but it's a year-round series of events that lead up to it. The preparation is incredible, and as a performer and a teacher, to come into this type of situation and have first-class accommodation, terrific meals, and warm, friendly atmosphere, that makes all the difference. It makes my job a lot easier.
Do you think it's going to come out without a hitch today, this performance?
There will be hitches, but that's okay, because you learn from the hitches as well. We're not expecting perfection. You can't after 4 days of rehearsal. It's impossible. But the point is to reinforce what was well done, and if the kids make a mistake, if they don't know why they made the mistake or what happened, then that's not a very valuable experience. But in the rehearsal process, in the run-through process, we've told them this is what you got to watch. If you got a clarity of speech and volume were the things that I was particularly focusing on, and they'll know from the feedback afterwards whether or not people could hear them. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. If they achieved that, it's a sense of accomplishment. If not, hopefully we've given them the tools so they can say, okay, next time I know I have to do this, I have to my consonants have to be a little crisper next time, I have to speak up a little more, think about the people in the back row, things like that. So it's also an awareness, developing an awareness in the kids so that they know how to fix problems that come along. So hitches are okay. It's part of the learning experience.
Last year, a friend of mine came here and taught, and this year she had a little boy. He's 3 months old, and so she asked me if I would be interested in doing it this year, and I said yes, and it's been a good experience. I have a lot of background in dance. That's what I do here. I teach at Newdale and at Hamiota, and I used to have a studio in Brandon called Willowdale Dance Center. And this is the second drama that I have been involved with. I was involved with the Strathclair drama last year, but this is the first workshop I've ever been involved in, so this has been a new experience for me.
So what have you been doing with the students this week?
We have been learning some basic dance steps and discovering our right foot and our left foot for some of them. And then you have to put together the dance and the singing and the acting. And it takes a while to get that flowing, but I think we're getting there.
Isn't that a real challenge to do that all in 1 week?
Yes, there has been a lot of sweat involved this week.
Like when you stop and think of it, most drama productions go over 3 or 4 months, and you do a little bit, and you do a little bit. This way it's like a Reader's Digest condensed version, isn't it?
Yes, it's very condensed. It's been very much pushing and doing stuff, and definitely teaching in a very throwing everything at them, and the kids have been very quick to pick up and quick to learn and eager. You can tell the energy level that's going on in there, and there's a lot of talent in this facility with these 60 kids. There are a lot of well-trained and a lot of naturally talented and energetic and fun kids.
Now, you're not working with all the same caliber of kids, the same age of kids. How's that as a challenge?
I've worked with children of various ages for so long. I don't even really think about that. You move a little slower with the little ones, and you articulate a little differently with the little ones. But generally, you just kind of go from one class to another, and the older ones pick up faster. But we're doing harder things for the older ones, so they're finding what they're doing. I hope they're finding it challenging. It's as challenging as the little ones. The little ones are doing something simpler, but I think everyone is at the level. I hope that they're finding it challenging.
So what was your sort of an agenda for a day here at Binsgarth? What would you have done in a day?
In a day, often in a day we would go through a dance. We would learn a whole dance. The little ones have learned a total of 4 dances, and we've had 4 days plus today, so we've had 5 days altogether. And the older ones, same thing. They have learned 4 dances, plus they've also learned all of the singing that they've learned and all of the drama that they've learned. So every class is go, do, very intensive.
So would you have a group for a whole morning, or how did it work?
We have 45-minute classes. So in the morning, I would see each group for 45 minutes. And in the afternoon, we combine classes because the primary and the junior would dance together. They do one dance together, and the senior and the intermediate dance together. So I would have a class with those 2 groups combined. And yesterday, we actually started putting together a number we'd worked on individually. The opening number, everybody is on stage at various points, off stage, on stage. And yesterday we spent a lot of time working on that because we'd worked on individual parts, but we had never actually all been there together to put it on.
So what's the results like? What do you feel about the production?
Yesterday it went very slowly, and today it's like dawn of a new day. It's fine. Everything was very good. I thought that this morning we went through the rehearsal twice, and it went very, very well. Kids know what they're doing. They've got their on and off stage happening, and everything flows. So, and they're happy, they're energetic, and you know, I think that you were watching it for a while this morning, and I felt really good about it.
What do you think you're going to feel the kids got from your part in this whole production?
I hope they learned some new dance steps. There are some kids here that do dance, so maybe for them the dance part wasn't as much as they would have liked. But I hope that everyone has gone home feeling really good about themselves. That's the number one thing. I want everyone to feel confident and comfortable up on the stage, and I hope they just go home loving what they're doing here. That's the big thing. And if they go home, if they've learned 10 things, I'm happy with that.
What would say was your highlight of the whole week?
The highlight, I guess, would be this afternoon, seeing the parents come and the performance, and there's always an extra spark happens when you have an audience, and I think that'll be my highlight. To all the kids that were here this year, come back. You've got amazing talent, and come back and do it next year and get better and grow and you know, meet the kids again that you saw last year, and make some new friends and make some better friends with the ones that you are becoming friends with, and I like to tell everyone to have a very good year, and whatever dramas they're in this year, you know, take back that energy and enthusiasm and share it with everybody else.
Samantha, Ryan, Ayla, right there.
My responsibilities this week have been to look after the voices, to do the singing and the choir work. It's been a wonderful challenge. They're wonderfully enthusiastic children, and they have lovely voices, so it's been just a great pleasure to come here and make them into one voice, into the choirs and the singing for the musical.
So what kind of a background do you have in music, Karen?
I have taken music, started singing in festivals when I was 4, and studied piano and voice all the way through high school, and went to Brandon University. I have a Bachelor of Music Education from Brandon University in choral conducting, and I have used that since I was in high school till present day.
So what's it been like here in Binscott?
Oh, busy, busy, busy. Busy music, dancing, singing. The kids have a lot of energy, and to capture that energy and put it into, tunnel it into a creative thing was what this week was all about. For me, a routine of the day starts out with one set of children, and we would do physical warm-ups and vocal warm-ups, and then do some singing. The next set of children, I would do the same thing, and then the day would continue on like that. 5 different classes for me all day, a different group of kids to work with to try and get through all the material.
So did you have specific songs that you had for each group, or how did you work?
Yes, there's 4 groups, and the younger 2 groups and the older 2 groups were combined for 1 choir number each, and then there was 1 choir number for the whole group. Each of the groups had their own song in the musical, plus 1 combined song. So they had a minimum of 4 songs that they had to practice each group.
So did you do this with accompaniment of a tape, or how did you do it?
We had a CD, but we also had a live accompanist from Russell, Phyllis.
So how did that work out?
Oh, she was wonderful. She filled in all the spots where we need her. In fact, I think she could read my mind by the end of the first hour. She was amazing. So it's been wonderful, and she's playing for some of the choir numbers, and we've chosen to have her play some of the musical numbers as well as having the CD accompaniment.
So at the beginning of the week, how did you think, hey, how am I going to take 55 kids or more and make this into a 1-week production? What were your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are kind of one moment at a time, and I kind of work that way, especially on a big venture like this, knowing that we've got to get to a certain point by Friday, but one moment at a time as we go, and just tackle the problems as they come up and push, push, push.
And did it work?
I think it did. I'm very proud of how they sound and how they look, and I think that they'll put on a fabulous show this afternoon.
What would you say was your biggest challenge?
One of my biggest challenges was channeling all the energy into what I wanted them to do rather than visiting and bouncing and jumping and socializing. So that was one of my bigger challenges.
And your highlight of the week?
I think a highlight of the week is just to have had the privilege to work with the Voices.
Now, what can you tell those kids as they go out and go out and go back to school and everything else? What would you like to tell them?
As you go back to school, I want you to take some fond memories from this week and always, always cherish them in your heart, knowing that even if you come together with a group of people you don't know, sharing music always makes you one.
What else do you want to tell them?
To never give up, to always keep trying, and no matter what they do when they grow up, to have some little part of music as part of their life, because it will make their life richer and they will be healthier and happier for it.
Do you think you're going to come back another year if they ask you?
If they asked me, I would gladly come back another year.
My name's Howard Cooper. I'm your MC, and it's the only time you're going to see me. It's a short little time, but I'm going to welcome you all to the conclusion of the second annual Summer Arts Adventure Camp. The mission of the Vagabond Theatre Company is to enrich, to educate, and entertain. This year there's been 3 components to the camp: a director's workshop, an actor's workshop, and a musical theater camp. This afternoon you'll be treated to the efforts of 54 young people from ages 5 to 16 who attended the musical theater camp. Before we begin the show, in earnest, I'd like to thank on behalf of the Vagabond Theatre Company the following people. Karen Morrow-Penner for instructing the children or the young people in the musical part of the show, musical director. Lois Heineman for her creative choreography. She did all the dance steps that are on the show today. She's sitting right there. Mr. John Tedwin, known as Ted, for his instructions in the various facets of acting and drama workshop. And Frank Adamson, who conducted the director's workshop and the adult drama workshop also. Mrs. Phillips McGranagan for assisting in the musical part on the piano. Lynn Reevy, who's backstage here, who's been patient and very caring with the primary students all week, and she's like their little mother. Rita Wasson for managing the snacks and the lunches all week. And all the parent volunteers who assisted with the children for this whole week, and all the non-parent volunteers, which we have 2 in the back right now. Thank you very much. And finally, the captain of the ship, the head buckaroo, Jamie Bradshaw, who's doing the lighting and the sound, for keeping the program on course. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Ha ha ha! sentence. Well, pull yourself together. Between me and my brother, we know everything. Okay, then tell me the population of Zanzibar. Ask my brother, that's one of the things he knows. Did you know there was a kidnapping down the street? No, what happened? His mother woke him up. This is the most expensive hearing aid on the market. What kind is it? About $230. What kind of dog does your science teacher have? A Labrador Retriever. I used to think I was a puppy, but the doctor cured me. How are you now? Great, just feel my nose. My uncle swallowed a frog. Wow, did it make him sick? He can croak any minute. I'd like to turn on that shirt in the window. Sorry, sir, you'll have to use the dressing room. Waiter, there's a button in my salad. It must have fallen off when the salad was dressing. Say, what's the idea of wearing my raincoat? Well, you wouldn't want your new dress to get wet, would you? I wrote Susie a love letter every day for a year. Guess what happened? She married the mailman. You know I made $1 million from a flea circus. That's amazing, especially because you started from scratch.
What's the difference between the Rocky Mountains and the Matterhorn?
Don't you mean the Matterhorn?
No, the Matterhorn.
What's the Matterhorn?
Nothing. I didn't know you cared.
Doctor, can you remove these 4 quarters off my left ear? They've been there for a month.
A month? Why didn't you come see me sooner?
I didn't need the money till now. The other day I asked my friend what all his chickens were doing in the front yard. And he said, well, they heard some men were going to lay a sidewalk, so they wanted to see how it was done. So why don't you play checkers with Bill anymore? Would you play with someone who cheats and moves their men when you're not watching? No, I wouldn't. Neither would Bill.
Now say that Ralph owes you $10 and he agrees to pay you back by $1 a week. How much money would you have after 7 weeks?
Nothing.
Nothing? You don't know much about math.
You don't know much about Ralph.
Now, dear, you mustn't be so selfish. You need to let your sister use the sled half of the time.
I do. I have it for going down the hill, and she has it for going up the hill.
Why is your baby sister crying?
Because I won't give her my piece of cake.
Where's her piece of cake?
She cried when I ate that, too. I thought you'd be done your golf game at port, and it's almost 8. I couldn't help it. Poor old Fred is dead. He just keeled over on the 8th hole. That's awful. You got that right. For the rest of the game, it was hit the ball, drag Fred. Hit the ball, drag Fred. Our town is so small, we had to close our zoo when the chicken died. Hey, Dustin, there's an invisible man waiting for you in your dressing room.
Tell him I can't see him.
Everybody gets the blues now and then. Don't know what to do. I had
again. Mate, I know exactly what you mean. But if you ask me, the only choice to consider is life on the open sea. Ah, the salt air, the cry of the seagull, the exotic ports of call. Ahoy, ahoy! Land ho, cast off, you sea dogs. Let's get this windjammer jamming.
But I don't know. I get seasick just thinking about my rubber ducky.
Flush that sailor nonsense, son. Get yourself a good plunger, a couple of copper pipes, and some hip huggers. Become a plumber, and you'll make the world run a lot more smooth. If you know what I mean.
A plumber? Gosh, I never considered a plumber before. It does sound like fun, though. Maybe I...
All aboard! For the Western Express is leaving immediately and guided by the greatest locomotive engineer this side of the last spike. All aboard! Wow, a railroad engineer! That's terrific! Yippee-yi-yay, buckaroos! There ain't no business like the bow-bomb business. Grab a rope, get a horse, and join me in the great rodeo roundup.
Yahoo! A cowboy! Do people still do that sort of thing?
Makeup! Where's my makeup? Where's my dressing room? Where's my agent? I've got a show to do.
Who was that? I don't know. I want to be.
All this talk about jobs and careers is making me awfully hungry.
Me too. But Ryan, you're always hungry. I know. Just the other day I asked my mom for another piece of pie. She said no. 2 pieces is enough. I don't know how she expects me to eat well if she won't let me practice.
Okay, so what are you going to be when you grow up anyway?
You mean you have to ask? A sailor's life for me, that's all I want to be. Just me and you and our motley crew upon the open sea. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a sailor's life for me. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a sailor's life for me. A sailor I am not, unless the boat's a yacht. Just me and you on a pleasure cruise where the sun is hot. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a sailor I am not. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a sailor I am not. You swab the deck, dear, and then trim the sails. I'd gladly help, dear, but there's one bob in the pail. Swab your own deck, dear, and work like a man. I'd gladly help, dear, but I'd rather get a tan. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a sailor's life for me. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a sailor's life for me. Row, row, row your boat, that's the life for me. Swab the deck and trim the sail, a sailor I will be. Row, row, row your boat gently out to sea. You can know but I don't know, but that's the life for me. A sailor's life for me, that's all I like a man. Just me and you, motley dear, upon the open sea. You swab the decks, dear, and trim the sails. I gladly help you, dear, with the time open the tail. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a sailor's life for me. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a sailor's life for me. Not a sailor's life for me. Yo-ho! Can you come over right away? Somebody please call a plumber. Something is clogging my drain. This backup is really a bummer. The situation is really a pain. This girl wants a jacuzzi.
The city wants a new scene.
This job is really a doozy.
There's not even time for a plumber to think.
Oh, it's a great, great thing to be a plumber. I can install a new shower. Oh, it's a great, great thing to be a plumber. 'Cause I get paid by the hour. Oh, it's a great, great thing to be a plumber. All of the gals will gush. It's a great, great thing to be a plumber. be a singer. I need a real hum-ding-a-ling-a-linger, so I can sing both high and low, and I'll put on a wonderful show, and everyone will be a real singer. If I could be a singer, she wants to be, she has to be a movie star. She wants to be, she has to be a movie star. And I'll drive a big white car, 'cause I'll be a movie star. I wanna be a movie star. I wanna drive a big white car, tell all the folks I'm gonna go far, 'cause I'll be a movie star. I'll be a movie star. Wow, this all sounds so exciting. Yeah, a baker, a sailor, a plumber, they all sound great to me. I want to be a farmer. We know, we know. I guess the moral of the story is that whatever you want to be in life, whether it's a cowboy or an engineer or a movie star, it only matters if you give it all your very best. And be the very best, whatever you are, that you can possibly be. Free, free to be me. I'm free, free to be me. Anything I wanna be, I'm free, free to be me. I'm free, free to be me. I'm free, free to be me. Anything I wanna be, I'm free. I want to be a farmer. Oh. I'm free to be me. I'm free, free to be me. Anything I wanna be, I'm free, free to be me. I'm free, free to be me. I'm free, free to be me. Anything I wanna be, I'm free.
The really cool thing about this adventure this week is that anybody who wanted to come and participate could. It's not for somebody who's a grand singer or somebody who's a grand dancer, or somebody who's a grand speaker. It's open for anybody to try their abilities, and I think that that's really important, and I think that anybody who wants to try this sort of thing should have that opportunity.
What else do you want to tell the kids as an ending comment?
That they all did a great job, and that there were a few times when kids were a little bit on the disruptive side. That's why we focus a lot on concentration games. But there's a balance there, because a lot of the times it has to do with their enthusiasm and their energy, and it's very hard to contain that. Discipline is not something we can assume. It has to be learned. So when people are disruptive, you have to gently guide them along and say, you know what, that's not acceptable. You have to be quiet when you're watching somebody on stage the same way you would like them to be quiet when you're on stage. So it's a give and take. There's an etiquette involved, respect, discipline, all of those things. So hopefully that's a lesson well learned for them as well.
Something else you have in mind to tell us?
Just how nice it is to have so many boys here, and for the boys to see other boys enjoying singing and dancing and acting, and there's support there for the boys. Sometimes when we all go back to our own communities, there's maybe one or two boys that are in that community that want to dance and sing, and the rest of them want to play hockey and baseball. And it's fine to play hockey and baseball, but it's just as fine to dance and sing and act. And it's nice that they can come and know that they're not alone, and that there are lots of other guys out there who love this as much as they individually each love dance and acting and singing.
I want them to go home feeling like they can do anything if they put their mind to it, and that they will have the confidence to try. That's what we're trying to instill in everyone, is having the confidence to try and not being afraid of failing. And if we do make a mistake, we learn from it and go from there. I just think that it's a wonderful opportunity for the kids to be exposed to some really high quality instruction, and to spend some time making some new friends and learning some new skills. And if we could accommodate hundreds, we would, but we can't. And so I really hope that people who think seriously about this for their children will contact us early.